All right, so I'm here with Chelsea Denofa. We are Team Tire Streets, and we're going to give you guys some of our tips on how to maximize your 651. Now, this can be looked at two different ways. You could be talking about maximizing tire life, or you could look at it as maximizing grip. Both of us have some similar opinions, some different opinions. So I guess let's start with maximizing tire life. What's your go-to?
For me, maximizing the tire is about wearing the tire across the whole tread pattern. So for me, I don't go below 16 or 18 cold on them. You'll see this one has some shoulder wear. That's because we're running these at 13 or so. So you end up starting wearing whatever side rolls itself over first. So depending on the track layout, if it's got more outside turns or inside turns, it would do obviously wear the inside or outside. But for me, these things take a lot of heat. So you got to get them warm, and the hotter you get them, the more consistent the grip is, and they never fall off. So making them last isn't necessarily a thing of the driving. You can drive it really as hard as you want, and they'll wear to the core really nicely.
I'd say in terms of tire pressure, I'm probably of the same opinion. One thing that's kind of like generic tire setup advice, but does come into play is, depending on your car and how much it squats, how much the camber curve changes under compression, just align your car to what you see in the tire. So if on this tire, for whatever reason, you're starting to wear more in the sidewall, maybe you have more grip, so your car is squatting and activating more, put a couple turns in your camber arm. Yeah. So that's really, really important, because nothing's worse than spanking a set of tires because you
corded one side.
Yeah, it's like you want to get the most out of your dollar. But I mean, at this track here, which is a pretty big deal track, fourth gear, I'm getting 10 laps, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, if I'm doing chases and leads, I get 7 or 8 as well. It's crazy, and they go all the way to the bottom before they lose any grip. There's wires hanging out, and they still have drive. It's crazy.
All right, so this is where we do have slightly different opinions. I find that on a lot of my cars, ways that I've had them set up in the past, I have a lot of forward bite, but mechanically I'm searching for more side. So one thing that's really important to me to maximize the grip of this tire if I'm in a competition is to have a good front sway bar or stiff front springs. I find that creates more of a balance that I'm familiar and used to. In terms of pressure, I'll go down as low as 8, but you're definitely not getting the most out of the tire, because this sidewall wear will start to get more and more extreme. As we said before, the teens is really the sweet spot, but if you need a little bit of an extra edge, I feel like it makes you faster.
Yeah, I feel like at that point too, you gain forward and start losing some more side.
That's fair.
So you're gaining the forward, but losing what you're trying to set your car up for. And obviously you can add forward and side anyway with the car and the chassis. But these things, for me, I find the balance of if I'm not worried about tire wear, right at about 13, which is about 17 usually hot. When I run in the 8, they do have more forward, they do have more drive, but it's even sometimes hard to get 2 laps because you'll have 50% tread here, and the core sides will be corded. But yeah, I agree. Stiffer front springs, stiffer front bar. I feel like these tires are really balanced in forward and side, but again, it comes from how you drive the car and what you ask of it and things of that nature. So if you're asking for more side than the tire has, you're always going to want to try to put it in with the chassis.
We also have different baselines too. We were talking earlier, to say what a tire is, you need to have a baseline. And I've driven a lot on a certain tire, Chelsea's driven a lot on a certain tire, so we're using different points of reference to compare.
For sure. Everybody is, though.
It's fair.
That's what it is.
But for the sake of what we're talking about, I love driving on this tire for competition because I feel like it's such a fantastic equalizer. It doesn't matter if a car's super light, if a car's super heavy, if it's got a ton of power, not a lot. The way that the tire works, I'm here and I'm keeping up with 800 horsepower cars with a 400 horsepower car on a pretty big deal track.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I think what it does is it makes you, the drivers have to be more of a momentum driver because of the balance of the tire. It has good forward, it has good side. That's why I feel like they're equal, because it kind of just does what you tell it to do. But yeah, it's definitely a thing where light car, heavy car, no matter what, out there, when everybody's on the same tire, the battles are the absolute best. They're smooth, they're calculated, and you can really nitpick and feel every little bit to get every little ounce out of it grip-wise.
And that concludes our tech talk of the Accelera 651 Sport.